For 80 years, this simple piece of green paper has ruled the world. It's been the language of oil, the foundation of global trade, the safe haven in every crisis. But right now, a silent war is being waged against the US dollar. Nations representing nearly half the world's population are building a new financial system, one where the dollar is no longer king. This isn't economic theory, this is already happening, and the consequences will affect everything from your grocery bill to your retirement account. The revolution began not with a bang, but with a sanction. When the US and Europe froze Russia's dollar reserves in 2022, it sent a shockwave through every capital around the world. If it could happen to Russia, it could happen to anyone. Overnight, holding dollars went from being safe to being risky. Countries started looking for exits, and they found them. China and Saudi Arabia now trade oil in yuan. India and Russia settle their business in rupees. Brazil and China have ditched the dollar completely. Each of these deals might seem small, but together they form a tidal wave. We're witnessing the fastest diversification away from the dollar in modern history. Meanwhile, there's a global gold rush happening. Central banks are buying gold at record rates, over 1,000 tons per year. Why? Because gold can't be frozen? Gold can't be sanctioned? It's the ultimate neutral asset in a world where financial weapons have become commonplace. The BRICS alliance is leading the charge. What started as 5 nations has now expanded to include economic heavyweights like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, and the UAE. Together, they're creating their own payment system, discussing a common currency, and building what amounts to a parallel financial universe. But what does this mean for you? When the world loses faith in the dollar, several things happen. The US government's borrowing costs rise. That means higher interest rates on everything from your mortgage to your car loan. Inflation becomes harder to control because a weaker dollar makes all imported goods more expensive. Your purchasing power silently erodes. The dollar's dominance has allowed Americans to live in a financial reality that is different from the rest of the world. We get cheaper credit, we pay less for imports, our government can run massive deficits without immediate consequences. That special treatment is now ending. We're not talking about the dollar collapsing overnight, we're talking about a slow, steady decline in its importance. A world where the dollar shares power with the yuan, the euro, and maybe a new BRICS currency. A world where gold returns to the center of the financial system. The signs are everywhere if you know where to look. China is making bilateral currency deals with over 40 countries. India has a rupee trade mechanism with 18 nations. Even France is now completing its first LNG trade in yuan. The foundation of the dollar's supremacy, the petrodollar, is crumbling. This shift represents the largest transfer of financial power in modern history. The 20th century was the American century, largely because of the dollar's dominance. The 21st century will be shaped by what comes next. The rules of the global economy are being rewritten right now, and most people haven't even noticed. The question isn't whether this will affect you. The question is how prepared you are for when it does. Because while the politicians debate and the economists warn, your financial future is being reshaped by decisions made in Beijing, Moscow, and Riyadh, not just Washington. The age of dollar supremacy is ending. What comes next will define the global economy for generations to come.